Dale, thanks very much for joining Glos TV today. Great to have you back at the City Unique Stadium. You've just had 6 weeks over in South Africa with the Pretoria Capitals, losing finalists unfortunately, but it must have been a great experience for you.
Yeah, I think it was obviously the first time that tournaments happened in South Africa, and no one really knew what was going to happen and how it was going to be supported. But it was an incredible tournament for the cricketers, for I think the South African public as well, and great to be involved in it. You know, it was amazing to see the stadiums full. The cricket was very high standard. We obviously had a good team as well, which helped. But all in all, just a fantastic experience, and I think it's going to get stronger and stronger. I'm looking forward to next year already. Yeah.
But it's obviously good to be back in Bristol now and back in Gloucestershire colours. What can you tell the Gloucestershire fans about what they can expect to see over the next couple of weeks with the players back in pre-season?
Yeah, I think we've had a good break. A lot of the players have been overseas. I think with the last few years of COVID and everyone being stuck at home, I think it has been a good exercise for them to get away and actually playing cricket as well. For me, is the only way you get better. There's obviously some use in being indoors and working on if there's something specific or if you've had injuries, but I generally think for especially the younger players to just get away and experience cricket in other countries and actually playing matches and scoring runs and taking wickets rather than just hitting balls in the nets generally makes you better. So I'm excited to have everyone back, and obviously we've got a few new faces as well. We've got Merchant Delanga who's joined us, and he's had a bit of cricket in Dubai, but he's really chomping at the bit to get in to the Glos colours and to start the season. So I'm pretty excited to see him on the park. And everyone's actually looking good. They're all in good spirits, and the guys that are here, it feels a lot more relaxed than last year. I think by April we'll be ready to get the marathon underway.
And you touched briefly there on the players who were away over the English winter period. There was a couple in South Africa, wasn't there? But did you get to work closely with any of them over that period that they were there?
Yeah, organised. There's I think 4 or 5 of them in Natal at a school there that I worked at Hilton. So fantastic facilities for them. They also housed at the school, and they are part of the cricket program. So there's a bit of responsibility for them from a coaching point of view, and so great learning all around really. But from a cricket point of view, they're getting outdoors. They've got middle nets, they've got turf nets to practice in, and there's some good coaches there that they've been working with, and obviously just been keeping in touch with us as to how they're getting on. They're still over there, and I think they're all back next week. So I know they've had a really good time, but we'll see when they get back whether the progress they've made from a cricket point of view.
And last month we had 2 contract extensions announced by the club. Chris Dent signed until 2026 and Ajit Singh Dale until 2025. How important is it that we've got those players secured for the next at least 3 years?
Yeah, I think great from the club's point of view, from Snelly's point of view, to get those contracts over the line. I think obviously Denty is already a club legend, so to have him on board and wanting to be with us for the next few years is amazing. He will be an asset to any team, so it's great to have him not only as a player, but his leadership around the group and also on the field is amazing. So very happy to have him. And obviously bowlers are like racehorses, so to have Edge, I feel he had a great season last year from a development point of view. He really has shown that he can change matches and put in match winning performances. So he is an exciting prospect to have, and obviously looking forward to seeing his progression as he showed last year into this year.
It's now about 5 or 6 weeks to go until the first chunk of championship matches. April the 6th, Gloucestershire's season starts against Glamorgan. What can fans expect of the team this year in the Red Bull competitions?
Yeah, I think last year was obviously a tough season, and we've gone through a few changes from coaching staff and playing staff, and I feel we really found our sort of blueprint at the end of the year, and I think it's really just trying to make sure we are remembering that and taking those last 3 or 4 Champo games into the start of this year. I'm a lot more relaxed about this season. I think last year there was a lot of hype about obviously me coming in and the team we had, and through a number of reasons, also being in the first division, I think it was really a tough season all round. But as I said, we finished well, and I think that we've got a bit of momentum coming from the back end of the season. But I also am very aware that it's just the start. So yes, we want to obviously start really well, but I'm also aware that it is a long season, and you almost want to get better and better as the season goes on, rather than starting with a huge hype and everything, and then things start to almost tail off. So ultimately, we want to be consistent, but I have got a good feeling about the group, about the not just the players, but the support that they've got from the coaching staff. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure that they are wanting to keep up the work that they did at the back end of the season. So yeah, I think it's going to be exciting.
And finally, the club announced this week that Paul Mutchell has been promoted to Talent Pathway head coach, working really closely with Mark Thorburn. Can you tell us a little bit about the pathway and how important it is to you that we have players sort of ready to make that step up to professional cricket when the time comes?
Yeah, I think that's a great announcement and feather in the cap for Mutch, but also, as you just said there, the pathway, especially for a club like Gloucestershire, I think is vital. We are competing against much bigger clubs that have resources that we don't have. One area that we can be better than other clubs, or at least compete in, is looking after the area we've got, the talent we've got, the schools, the universities, the clubs. I think we have got the talent right on our doorstep, and I think that pathway is crucial in us producing our own players. I think then you don't have to keep looking around and finding players. I think if we are producing our own players, it is firstly financially a better way of creating a good team, but also players play for their with a lot more pride for where they come from. And I think Muchie's a great guy to have leading that. He is a Durham boy, so got a bit of history with him and his brother, but that is one club where there were majority of players that came from Durham, and we played with real spirit, and they were very proud of where they came from, and I think that is a really powerful tool. So I think the job that Thorbs and Muchie have there is, for the longevity of the club, is a really crucial one. And I think if they can tap in and create structures there where we're bringing out and giving opportunity to the best players in the area, and they can filter into the teams, it'll be a system that will then be able to be sustainable, rather than always having to plug holes with players from other counties.
Dale, thanks very much for joining us.